Hey y'all, welcome back to Heart of a Volunteer, Veterans Podcast. I'm Kloe Walker, a Gold Star child. We've got an amazing episode for you today, so enjoy the show.
All right, everybody. Hey, what a great intro, huh? What a great intro. Thank you, Kloe, for coming on. We did that in 4 takes. And your voice and your energy, just amazing. It fit perfect. So I want to thank you, and I look forward to having you on. Talk about the life and times of a Gold Star child, what your senior year is looking like, and what the future is going to look like in your mind. So thank you again. Now, hey, folks, you know this is a Veterans Podcast. You can't be for veterans if you're not for veterans' families, and you definitely cannot be for veterans if you're not there for Gold Star families. So that's what we do here on the show. So just expect to hear some more of that stuff coming out. All right. Well, hey, folks, today is your Veterans Chat Ep.003. You know who I am, so I ain't got to say it. But we have got an amazing veteran co-host. If you remember back to Season 1, Veterans Chat 20, you remember this veteran. If you listen to Monday's Veterans Focus Episode 02, Noodlin' for Chow, then you definitely know this veteran. Now, chances are you don't know this veteran from his other efforts that he's done for the show. Devon Walker has been the admin for the show almost since the beginning, and he has been sharing the podcast on social media. He's been talking about it. He's been an amazing sounding board for us when we talk about new episodes that we're going to do, content that we're going to put out, topics that we're thinking about talking about. So Devon does a lot of work with the podcast, not just coming on. So I want to thank him for that right off the bat. Of course, I'll probably do it numerous times throughout the show. That's why kind of how I work. But just doing an amazing job. He's got an amazing family and got a chance to sit down and break some fish with them and some potatoes and just really, really enjoy the day. I have a very sneaky suspicion that Devon brought his family down here because Will Price was coming down from New York. And you know how veterans are. Veterans like to show off their veteran friends. And I think that's what Devon did. He's very proud to be a veteran. He's very proud of the veterans he's served with. He said that numerous times. And I think he had a good time just hanging out with veterans and sharing those stories firsthand with his family, which very few veterans get a chance to do, to bring in other veterans and bring their family into the stories and the dynamics that go along with it, and then just having a great time. So, hey, without further ado, let's get Devon on the show and enjoy the episode. Hey, Devon, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me again, Chris. It's awesome to be here, and it is awesome to be here in person.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Hey, not very many people, get a chance to come in and do an episode, but I'm glad that you did. How have things been, man? Last few months, 6 months, whatever.
Man, last few months, last 3 to 6 months has been insane. Along with the COVID, I haven't stopped working. Right. I've been working through this whole time. Mm-hmm. Working at a cheese plant, we're contracted out to do all the electrical work for them and stuff. So we have been nonstop since it started. So finally got my promotion. I'm now the lead foreman for it. So we're cruising through there pretty good.
Hey, you and I need to come on with another couple more veterans and talk about, the virus is something that, it's going to be around for a while, they're saying.
Definitely.
It almost seems like you need to have a bulletproof career now.
Yeah.
One that's that's pandemic resistant, right? Kind of like a vaccine.
Exactly.
But we got young veterans, and then some veterans out there that are looking to make a change. And I think we should get 3 or 4 veterans on and talk about these other variety of careers that are kind of resistant and how they are. And maybe that'll spark a veteran to get out there and get a hold of something that's a little more solid and guaranteed, right?
Definitely. Been talking to several different veterans around that have listened to the podcast and have reached out and wanted to talk about construction work and stuff like that.
Nice.
From past episodes, me talking about it.
Yep.
And I got one guy down in Georgia that wants to come on. He's a generator tech, and he would like to come on with us and talk about it and see about helping veterans get into these trades and into jobs that are actually essential. And, because a lot of times your college-educated guys, they were all working from home, during this, and they weren't getting but just their regular salary. Like me, I was working 60, 70 hours a week through this whole pandemic. So,
right. Hey, quick question for you, man, in reference to the infantry. Would you say that, Marine Corps infantry, Army infantry, that for those folks, they are geared towards trade schools? Do you consider your time in the military as a trade school?
Definitely. If you look at it in the infantry, you're learning a trade.
Right.
Whether it's Marine Corps, whether it's Army, it didn't matter either way. It's same basic tactics, and you learn the same stuff. You got to be able to shoot, move, and communicate. Well, it's the same thing in the construction world.
Right.
Pretty much. You just, instead of shooting, you're just throwing up buildings instead.
Right.
I
just think that veterans, in some cases, they're geared towards that, and they're very, very successful, like yourself, at doing that. So I think if we can capture that and get that out to veterans, it'll look pretty sharp.
I think you're right.
It'll help some folks out. Hell yeah. So hey, man, you know what? Your family, man. I got a chance to come over there and hang out with a couple of times, which we'll talk about. But man, your family, you gather around outdoor activities, hunting, fishing, amazing stewards of the environment. How has your family and these get-togethers been affected by the virus, man?
To be perfectly honest with you, we've been social distancing since before it was cool to social distance. So,
like the Midwest, social distance champions of the world.
Yeah, exactly. So we've always just been, us.
Right.
We stay tight. Even at home, we don't really ever go out to do anything. We always gather up at the house and have a game night, have barbecues, whatever. And then every other weekend, we're always down at our hunting property, building something, improving on it,
right.
Getting ready to go for bow season, dove season. Me, Dad, and my little brother Lance are all avid bow hunters. And so anything we can do to be outdoors, we're going to do it.
Right. Not just physically, man, but how has your family been doing mentally through all this?
We've had each other this whole time, so it wasn't like we were isolated like some of these folks have been.
Right.
I've got buddies that are in New York that are from Colorado, and they can't talk. All they can do is talk to their family over the phone and on the computer, and it's not the same.
Right.
So it hadn't been too bad on our mental health because we're all right there in Amarillo. So it's been pretty nice.
That is cool. So. You are here at the studio for basically because you're in the area. Let's talk about what your family did. Like once again, you guys get together and go on vacations, go fishing, hunting, and it's a family event. Can you talk about what you guys were doing here at Lake Texoma?
So we came to Lake Texoma because my dad's grandpa used to come down here every year and go striper fishing.
Yeah.
And Dad and I, every time I would get back, we'd always want to go hunting or fishing, either one. So one year.
From deployment?
Yeah, from deployment. Whenever I'd get back from deployments or just on leave. Period.
Yeah.
And just to get some of that normalcy back, and okay, cool. Then real life really is happening here still. Yeah. And so I was 19 the last time we got to come fishing here at Texoma. And it was right before my first deployment to Afghanistan.
Right.
And we got to take my granddad, who passed away a few years back now, but we got to take him on his last fishing trip here. And so we wanted to come back and bring the kids. And my little brother's got 2 kids, Lily, who's 18 months old, and then Walker, who's 6 months old. And then I have 2 daughters that are 11 and 10, and that's Marley and Cheyenne. Mm-hmm. And so what Dad really wanted to do was be sure we all got together and made the same memories that him and his grandparents got to make, that me and my grandparents got to make, and now we're all making them together with coming fishing here, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Well, hey man, can you describe the area? You guys got a kind of like Airbnb?
Yeah, we had an Airbnb in Kingston, Oklahoma, which is on the other side of the lake from the Sniper Bar and Grill.
Great little community over there, man.
Awesome.
Spread out like it is over here in my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
or my neck of the lake.
You know, each place was like 5 lots, 3 to 5 lots, something like that. It's pretty nice. You got plenty of room. Your neighbors didn't bother you. You know, they didn't really care what you did as long as you were quiet enough that you weren't bothering everybody around.
Yeah,
didn't care what you did. The Airbnb was nice.
Right. Yeah, it was.
I don't know who my mom got it through. I didn't get that information. I forgot to get it. But she got it, and it slept all of us.
How many did you have again?
Let's see here. 1, 2.
Like you said, you're
4.
terrible at math.
Yeah, I'm horrible at math, and I'm an electrician. That just says a lot for you. No, 4 kids and then 6 adults.
Yeah.
So there was 10 of us.
Yeah.
And
that's easy math.
It fit us all nice and easy.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. They had so many oak trees, and where I come from in the Panhandle, there is no trees. It's flat.
Right.
You can see for miles and miles.
You can thank the Sodbusters for that.
Exactly. And so, you know, down here the environment's a lot different. It's dry where I'm at, and here it's nice and humid, which is ungodly hot for somebody who's not used to that.
Right.
But it like I said, it's so pretty you don't even notice it. You catch a breeze and you're sitting out in the shade just enjoying your day. Oh man, it is just beautiful here.
You know, most of the areas around the lake, you know, there's a lot of weekenders, you know. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people do rent out their stuff. And the decks, man, like when people have lake houses, they build things so that they can enjoy the outdoors. They don't build they do like a really nice indoor home. It's typically the outdoor stuff. Like you had hammocks hanging everywhere. Man, we had an amazing deck that could have been a dance floor.
Yep. There was 2 decks actually. You know, you had that upper deck that was attached to the house, and then you had the lower deck that was open, and you know, it had a barbecue grill on it, and that's where we fried all the fish that we had caught. And
I would definitely recommend anybody, and it doesn't have to really be Lake Texoma, to look around some of these places. And like we were talking about, you don't have to go fishing.
No,
you can bring games with you. You can just relax. You can bring extended family together. Mm-hmm. Those little vacations. If people are worried about the social distancing, that might be a good thing to do.
It was nice because, you know, our family's always together anyway, so we didn't have to worry about social distancing with us, so we could all pile in there. Mm-hmm. So it was nice. We didn't have to, if we wanted to interact with the community, we could go out and go to the store and talk to people if we wanted to, or we could just stay isolated in our own little group.
Right.
And it was the most relaxing weekend I've had in years, actually. Nice. It was nice.
It was good. I will say this, man. Your, Will and I came over there. Amazing family. Very inviting. The food was amazing.
Good.
I want you to thank your father for that amazing food. And I want you to give your mom a big hug for me. Man, her welcoming smile and then just generosity. You can't beat that kind of stuff. And I'm used to that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So when I get it, I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for that, man.
Very welcome, very welcome. And like we said, all of us, anytime you want to come to Amarillo, you got a place to stay.
Well, I will be up there, because we're going to be working with you and Pat and trying to get some hunts and stuff for veterans going.
Yes, sir.
And we'll definitely sneak the podcast up there and try to trick them into coming on the show.
Definitely.
So,
definitely, because Dad was all in for a all veteran dove hunt and get you up there with all this equipment. And
be a good time, man. Be a good time.
Oh yeah.
All right. So hey, did you do any fishing here while you guys are big fishermen?
We did. We ended up with 35 total fish, which is outstanding for July because striper fishing here in July is the slow time of year for striper.
Right.
the water's getting real warm, so they're not wanting to eat as much. So the bites aren't coming like they usually do. When you come for the striper runs, most of the time people want to come from the start of September when the water starts getting down into like 85 to 80. That's the perfect time. Those fish love to eat. Loved it. They'll just slam your baits. It's fun. It's nonstop action during those times. This time it was a little slower. Wasn't bad. But you had to really have finesse to catch them this time.
Right.
And we always hire a guide because we don't fish here enough and we don't own any boats. So it's just easier on us to hire a guide. Then you're pretty much guaranteed to catch fish because if you don't catch fish, the guide doesn't get paid.
Right.
So it was fabulous. Our guide, that man he was 72 years old and missing one arm.
Wow.
He was born that way, and you would have never known that he never had that arm.
Just rocking it.
Just rocking and rolling. I mean, he kept up with 7 of us all day from 6 o'clock in the morning until noon.
Right.
He kept up with us and never missed a beat, never slowed down. This man, and he kept us on fish the whole time.
Nice.
So it was fun.
What was the name of the guide service, man? Can you talk about that?
The guide service name was... My phone shut off. Sorry about this. My phone shut off. Where'd it go? There it is. His name is Stan Constant, and this man was impressive as to how much he could, how much he knew. He's been fishing this lake for 40 years, or guiding, I should say. He's been guiding this lake for 40 years.
Right.
And he is one of the best. He was one of the most highly recommended guides we could have gotten off of all the websites that we were looking at and everything like that. And he's really entertaining. He can fit up to 10 people in his boat, and he will keep you in the fish all day long.
You got a phone number and stuff? Is it on that card? Let me see.
It's on that card here.
Let me see that card there.
We'll pass it around here.
All right, we got, here we go, folks. We got Lake Texoma Guide Service. The guide is Stan Constant. His phone number is 1-580-564-5648. Give him a shout. Now, I guess if he's booked up, he knows somebody else. You said that there's like 35 guides at that marina that you went to, something like that?
At the marina there in Alberta Creek, they've got 25 guides, 25 to 30 guides there.
Right.
Now, around Lake Texoma, there are around about 30 marinas, and each marina usually has about 10 guides in each marina. So it's
crazy.
There's a lot of guides out here, and every one of them's good or they wouldn't be out here.
Right.
Honestly, I just had a wonderful experience with Stan.
Yeah.
And wanted to go ahead and promote him and get him to...
Right. Now, you were saying something that he had mentioned, and I know we were trying to kind of confirm this, but it was either his son or his stepson was in the Navy. Or joining the Navy.
If I heard him correctly,
or his son's son was joining, or something like that.
If I heard him correctly, it was his 20-year-old adopted son.
Okay.
Went into the Navy as a nuclear electrician.
Right.
He was on all the nuclear ships, and he was going to bounce around from the ships to the subs and do electrical work on it. I don't know any more than that.
Right.
And I hadn't had a chance to talk to him since about it.
I think I'm going to give him a shout because I'm going to talk to him about some of the guide stuff. And I know you and I were talking about trying to see if he would do, a veterans group come in there and do a guide, and stuff like that. Just to talk to him and find out if he's still in, what's the deal. Love to have him on the show. Definitely. Talk about definitely if he is out, he has probably got a sweet job.
Oh, definitely got a sweet job because those are the electricians that get to go work on the nuclear powerhouses that we have around the country and stuff like that. And it's real easy to go in from that to being an electrical engineer because then you've got experience with all of it, and you're not going to be like some of these guys that come straight out of college and start trying to design stuff that won't.
Trying to get life experience from jump. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough business coming out of school. For these young folks, man. I didn't have to do that stuff. I was already life trained.
Right.
But, hey, let's talk about a little bit about the types of fish that are around, man. Just to kind of give
No problem.
Some of the veterans that are out there that may be looking to come here to Lake Texoma, and more specifically myself, right? Because I just moved here a couple of weeks ago. I've been in the water, but I haven't fished on it. So, give me some info, man, and some of the listeners about what we got on the lake.
Well, a lot of people come out here for the striper. That's why they get the guides. It's the fourth most preferred fish on Lake Texoma.
Right.
They're a real good fight. You got to have heavier tackle. You definitely want 20-pound heavier line. Mm-hmm. 20 pounds is about the lightest you want to go with these fish because they can fight.
Right.
And they do.
What kind of bait were you guys using?
We were using shad. Live shad is what we were using. And you have to have a special tank for these shad that's round and aerated.
Right.
And otherwise they die in about 3 to 4 minutes.
I know your dad was saying that even if you had whatever that stuff is you put on to protect yourself from
sunscreen.
Sunscreen. I don't use that stuff, but yeah, sunscreen.
Yep. The sunscreen.
If you have sunscreen on your hand, if you put your hand in there, it'll kill them.
Yep. Something about the chemicals in it. Those little shad just can't take those chemicals, and it kills them in about. The guide was saying about 3 to 5 minutes is all it takes, and they'll be dead.
It's crazy how just fragile the ecosystem is, and
exactly,
a species of fish could die that quick just from that.
Right,
and something to think about.
Then they've got another one that everybody always wants to catch is the largemouth bass. Mm-hmm. Those are everybody knows. You hit them with lures, you can hit them with minnows.
Yeah,
catch them just about any way, which way you want to. And they're also a good fighting fish. They're always fun to catch. That's always fun. And then you've got smallmouth bass. They're one of the most preferred because they taste really good. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people like to catch those. And it's the same thing. You just use lighter tackle. The smaller the fish are, the lighter the tackle that you use.
Right.
And then channel cat. Here at Texoma, they caught the state record on Texas side on rod and reel, and it was 90 pounds.
Wow.
That's a big catfish.
Yeah, it is.
It's a big catfish. And then that you definitely, a lot of guys, whenever they go fishing for catfish that big, they use a deep sea rig.
Right.
Because some of those catfish, you can get blues that are 100 pounds, 120 pounds. You can get flatheads that weigh more than that.
That's insane.
And flatheads and bullheads are the ones that we usually are noodling for. So like Price was talking about on earlier episodes, that noodling conversation, that's usually what you're noodling out of the rivers and stuff with is the flatheads.
Did you noodle while you were here?
No, I did not. We didn't go noodling. We just fished rod and reel.
Right.
I didn't even get in the water. I'm not much for it anymore. After living in Hawaii, I'm not big on going into the water.
I got you, man. Yeah. Yeah, you got ruined.
I'll get on the boat. I'll do anything like that, but I'm not much for swimming.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. And then you've got crappie. Now, everybody in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, crappie are where it's at. Those are some good fish to eat, and you can catch when they're biting. Oh man, you can just sit there with a little jig and a ultralight reel and just catch them all day long.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's
now
easy.
Is that more of like I don't have a boat, so
you could do that from the shore. You find you a nice little spot where you can. If you walk out, right, you want to find where it's got a drop off,
right,
and then crappie will be right underneath that drop off, and they love to sit there and just attack little grub worms.
Do I need to sprinkle stuff in there to attract them?
No, they're already there. They're sitting there spawning. That's what. Yeah. That's why it's the best time of year right now. The spring, summer, first part of fall, best time to catch crappie because they're spawning and they're protecting their nests and everything. So it's.
I like that, man. I'm gonna have to test that.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so 139 square miles of lake.
It's a huge lake.
It's huge.
640 feet deep.
No, I think it's just a little over 100 feet. 600 feet.
Mm-hmm. Its highest levels that it's been at, it was like 750. It's insane. Yeah, it is insane how deep this lake actually is.
Well, I know they were saying that like 5 years ago, and I've seen pictures of the marina down the way. Can't remember the name of it. It's not Pelican's Landing. It's the next, like couple down the road.
Yes, sir.
That the restaurant that we ate at when the Navy veteran that I purchased this property from took us out on his boat, the water was up over the top of it.
I can believe that.
And then this bridge over here, 377 bridge, the water was all the way up underneath it. So they're actually putting in and raising the bridge right now. The construction that's going on.
I was wondering what they were doing, if they were replacing part of the bridge or if they were raising it up. I didn't know.
Yeah,
but,
they're raising it so that if that happens again, boats can still get underneath it.
Nice.
This little beach park down here, it was completely flooded. The road that's right below my house, the water was up on it.
Wow.
So I mean, that's what they say.
Right. Man, I can tell you at the Alberta Creek Marina where we were fishing out of, the way it's built, you go down this hill to the marina, which is on the water, right?
Right.
There's a telephone pole there that's got a light on it. Well, it's probably 20 feet in the air. The water was over that.
Wow.
5 years ago.
That's crazy.
They were launching boats from the guy's trailer house right there.
Yeah.
That's sitting. I mean, he was on the water.
That's nuts. I will say this though, man. The whole lake area is just beautiful.
Oh man,
I've kind of noticed that like the Oklahoma side is like their shores are like smooth, come kind of into the lake. Texas side is a little more jagged, but they've done a lot of work, building marinas, kind of refining the shoreline and making it user friendly or fisherman friendly, I guess you could say. So
they're definitely trying. They're trying to accommodate to both people who have boats and then people who don't have boats.
Right.
So they've got boat rental services here that you can use. They've got guide services that you can use. Kayakers. We saw more kayakers on the lake.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to go just to go fishing. I mean, they've got it set up around, I know this lake at least, for campers. If you just want to go camp by the lakeside, do anything outdoors and get out and get by the water, man, Texoma is one of the lakes to do it by.
Right.
And it's beautiful around here.
Just down the road up here, there's a Shepherd's Air Force Base Annex.
Mm-hmm. That's the Shepherd Air Force Base is out of Wichita Falls.
Right. Their annex is down here, so they own a piece of property on the lake.
Oh, cool.
That they've got cabins, cabin rentals, places for veterans to put an RV.
Nice.
That kind of stuff. I'm going to get some more information and put that out on the podcast. And then some other areas, because there is a veteran of like the VFW for Denison and Sherman area. Mm-hmm. They own like a point out there that in order to buy a home there, you have to be like from what I understand, like a military legacy.
Oh, cool.
So like if your father served, like your daughters could purchase a home there because you served.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm going to get some more information on that too, and then of course link up with the VFW over there and talk about the Veterans Breakfast that starts in first Wednesday of the month. Starts in September, hopefully.
Oh, awesome! That'll be nice.
So, yeah.
It'll be fun. That'll be a trip that I'll have to make up here.
You'll have to, man, because there'll be a lot of veterans hopefully.
Yeah.
To come in and just break a little bread together, chit chat, tell war stories, and connect. It's like there's a lot of veterans out there that could use a veteran electrician in your case. Maybe there's something they need done. You can do it, and scratch. He scratch your back, you scratch his, and some kind of deal, and ain't nothing wrong with that.
No,
help
nothing.
Another veteran out. So I get tons of help from veterans just on this little podcast that don't do anything. So
I'm always down for barter system. So that works for me.
Yeah. All right, Devon. Well, hey, man, I want to thank you for coming here to the studio, coming here to the bar and hanging out. You and your fiance, man, Cody, we've been having a great time. Yep. I want to thank you, man, for not just coming here, but for what you do for veterans. Working with Pat, you guys are going to do amazing things. You kicked a couple ideas to me about the local area here for some veterans fishing and hunting. We're definitely going to get on that, so I want to thank you for that, man. And helping with the podcast. I mean, you're constantly sharing stuff. You're an administrator on the Facebook page. You lean forward in the ruck straps, man, for not just the podcast, but for what the podcast stands for, which is veterans. So I want to thank you, my friend, and your family for bringing us in, getting their arms around us, and filling our bellies up.
Oh yeah, well, it's like Dad said, y'all are my family, so it was too easy. It wasn't. It was like y'all were always been there. So we were more than happy to have y'all. That was an awesome experience. My family loved it, and they said thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't miss it, man. I'm glad I didn't miss it. Well, hey, I am going to, as custom is, let you have the closing shot at the show. So go ahead and talk to the listeners and drop some motivation on them, brother. And thank you again.
Well, all I can say to the listeners is guys, always reach out. If you're having problems and you think it's too much, always reach out. There's always somebody there that'll talk to you. Also, stay motivated and stay safe. Whatever that means to you, take it for what it is, but always stay motivated and always stay safe. And y'all have a wonderful, wonderful time.
There you go. Copyright Heart of Volunteer 2020.